And then that phone call you gave me in Vietnam.
Well, I was high, and I was in the green room of the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
And I called you up just because I missed you. I was like, what's he up to? And then when you answered, and you're like, I'm on a motorcycle, I'm in Vietnam. It was like an overwhelming voice in my head was like, you got to get this guy to quit that fucking show. I was like, you got to quit that show. Like, you have to quit. I'm like, Bert, you're too funny. I go, you should be a huge stand-up comedian.
But what's crazy is I think maybe now you can hear that advice and connect to where I am today and going, okay, he's got a movie coming out, he's got all these big things. But you don't believe in yourself then. You're just some fucking $1,500 a week comic, or $3,000 a week comic maybe at the time, going like, it'll never happen for me. We were saying this before the podcast started. When I was younger, before I met Leanne, and then right when I met Leanne, I wanted it so bad. I wanted what I have now. I wanted it so bad, but I thought it would be different. It's not what I thought it was going to be, but I wanted it. I watched Dane. I'm 100% honest. So if it bothers anyone, what I'm about to say, I'm fine. I watched Dane blow up, and I wasn't jealous, but I was envious. I was like, how cool. He goes to he knows movie stars, and then I'm so grateful that I didn't get what I wanted. I'm so grateful that it didn't show up until I was 44, and then now I'm 50, and I can really appreciate that. I can really appreciate it. It would never have meant what it means to have Ron White watch me do stand up.
Yeah,
it means something to me. I'm so when I did the Boston Garden, I cried on stage. Oh, I'm gonna cry telling you this, but it's standing ovations are interesting because. You can cheat them. I did this to Ari one time. I was like, I go, you want me to show you how to get a standing ovation? And he was like, wait, you can get a standing ovation? I go, it's super easy. I'll show you. And I walked him through like a 5-point PowerPoint process of how to get a standing ovation. And he was, Joe, it was almost like the day he lost his religion in Judaism. He just like, it's not fair. Is anyone else upset by this? But when you get them and you've earned them, and it happens quick, and it's just, and everyone stands up. That has happened a few times to me, and every time I fucking cry, I'm just like, boom, water. I cry easy too. I think I'm fucking. Thank God I'm on testosterone.
A lot of estrogen.
A lot of estrogen. My testosterone levels were so bad that Brigham was like, I have to call you they. But yeah, those, I never thought I'd be where I am. And if it all goes away tomorrow, I go, that was a fun fucking ride. It's like riding a horse. It's fucking been a goddamn trip.
But the key is now, with the success you have, is recognizing that there is no destination. There's what's important. None. Because this thought that you're gonna get somewhere and it's all gonna make sense. No, what happens is your motivation shifts. Your motivation shifts from this undesirable, this unstoppable desire to make it, then your motivation should shift to doing the best work that you can.
That was my last night. I don't get nervous going on stage, but very seldomly do I prepare. Where I go, let's think very thoughtfully about what we want to. Let's turn this into a job and let's work. And last night I sat down before dinner with you and I wrote every new idea I had down, and I said, I got my book. I remember a lot of them I want to do. I'm gonna make sure I hit all of them, because I was like, there's a chance that Jim Norton, I didn't know Jim would be there, but there's a chance that I know that you'll be there. And I go, these are my peers, and I want to make sure they know that I'm working. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. The second you see your peers stop working, and I won't say their names, but we've seen them. Yeah. The big comics that just phone it in, and I go. And I was very thoughtful in my approach to doing stand-up last night, because I was like, that's when it goes away, is when you stop giving a fuck, you stop bringing around.
That's with everything in life. That's when your marriage fucks up. That's when your friendships fuck up. That's when you're a bad neighbor. That's when you're a bad dad. That's when you're bad at your job. It's when you suck at a sport. A lot of things in life is whether or not you appreciate them. It's being in them and recognizing. Like when we were kids, when we were starting out doing stand-up, the idea that making a living doing stand-up was crazy. We always had jobs, right? Everybody had jobs in the beginning. So you're like, imagine if I could only pay my bills through comedy. That's insane.
That was
and then when you get there, then you're like, oh, how come he's got an HBO special? And I don't have an HBO special. It's like, it's so easy to get caught up in the stupid parts and just not appreciate it. Not appreciate your health. Not appreciate, like, that's the feeling that I always get if I ever get sick, is that feeling when I get sick, like, oh my God, this is terrible. I am going to appreciate health so much more as soon as I get better. Because when you feel like run down and tired and weak, you're like, oh no, what an awful feeling. Like, I have to recognize that my health is it's of utmost priority. You got to be healthy. And don't just think about it when you get sick. Because when you're healthy, you think about all kinds of stupid shit. You don't think about make sure you don't get sick. But when you're sick, you're like, oh my God, I've got to get healthy. Nothing matters until you're healthy. If someone could say, look, you could stay sick for the rest of your life, but you never have to work again. You're going to have unlimited income, but you're going to feel like absolute dog shit every day. You'd be like, no, that's not a life. That's not life.
No.
Life is when you're healthy. And no one thinks like that when they're healthy. Because when you're healthy, you just think about stupid shit. Like, why don't I have the car that I want? Why does she have those shoes and I don't? Why is this and that? And you just caught up in your own fucking head.